My name is Peter, and I'm here with John. And this week, I thought we could talk about time. A lot of people think that time is something you control. This is something in your control, and it is. What we're really going to talk about today is how time really works and how unreliable it is and how we manipulate time in our lives. That's how it really works.
What? What was that?
This was an intro brought to you by the power of AI.
Oh, that is genius.
So I pitched an AI online. That's going to be the topic of today's podcast.
Yes.
Is writing with AI. But
Yes.
basically, I gave this website the text. Peter and John host a weekly podcast called The Weekly Peel. Da, 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 da. Peter begins the podcast by saying, it just went on this long spiel about time.
Wait, give me a couple words again. Now that I know what's going on, what does it say? Peter
My name is
says,
Peter, and I'm here with John. And this week, I thought we could talk about time.
Okay, because you said you're like, oh, I have a good one for this. So I was like trying to be serious, and then I just realized I had no idea what you were saying. That is
What
funny.
is this guy talking about?
You know what's funny is that I do have a theory about time. I was just talking to somebody last week about the idea that time is not real. I don't believe that. I think it is something that we have invented. There are cycles, but time, like if we all decided that, like right now when you're listening to this and let's say it's noon, if we decided, hey, it's 2 a.m. and everyone agreed, that's the new 2 a.m. and everyone's on that schedule. Like,
Dang.
you know what I'm saying? Like time, I don't believe. We'll have to get into it. And I also think I have a theory that the world, in theory, it would never actually work because people are terrible. The world could run without anyone ever needing money. If everyone if everyone just decided there's no more currency, maybe there's limits to what you can get, but everything's free. It would work all the way from top to bottom. Like everyone's in agreement. It would work.
John, you're gonna start a war or something.
All right, so that's not what we're here to talk about. Maybe we'll do an episode on these theories, but but the AI prompted me, so I had to.
Yes.
Peter, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I was pretty psyched about that intro, and I was just reading it, and I was like, this is the wildest thing I've ever heard.
I kind of had a feeling. I'm like, I think this might be AI when you just started like looking off in the distance, reading something that made no sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
but in all reality, it's been a weird week and a half or so, a weird couple of weeks, because one, we just got past that weird week in between Christmas and New Year's, and nobody knows what's going on.
Yes.
Didn't really like go into work, and then on top of that, I didn't have my normal like work day on Monday. We still had off.
Ooh.
And then my wife was off of school like this whole week because of snow, and they kept on pushing the date of starting school like back and back and back. So this past 2 weeks has been a lot of just kind of vegging out at home, not really sure what to do with ourselves. But sometimes it's been good.
It's been needed, I think. I think sometimes you need that, you know?
Yes, it was. Yeah. And I think we pushed past like we needed this into like, okay, we're ready to like kickstart our lives again.
Yeah, we had like, I know everyone got snow. Everyone I know got snow. And then it was supposed to be like 40 degrees and rain. And I was like, are you kidding me? Then all of a sudden I saw something that like there might be snow. And then literally halfway through the day, the temperatures dropped like crazy. And we just got like 2 inches of snow. And
yeah, it was out of nowhere.
Yeah. And where we live, like they do not, like this is not like, listen, I like they do not know how to take care of roads here. So there was not enough to shut everything down in a normal place of a normal society, but here everything got shut down because it was like we don't know what to do. Oh well, there's ice everywhere and we're not going to salt it. We're just going to let you do what you need to do.
And there's probably not many snowplows out there.
No,
I would think.
No, there are not. No, out in the middle of nowhere.
What are those?
No, yeah. Sorry. We have people on the roads with shovels. Yeah. So speaking of snow, something that we have been trying for the last 2 or 3 episodes to talk about, we keep forgetting, and you know, not just as like, you know, co-hosts that we wanted to bring this up, but I haven't even talked to Peter about this. Me and my family went to Colorado in the beginning of December, and I have not told you anything about it, Peter, at all. I don't think I told you a
No.
single story.
I keep asking, and then
Yeah, and then
just
we
hear
forget.
something about how he almost died, and that's it.
I
So
did
now at this
almost
point, I'm
die.
very curious.
Yes, so I did almost die. We went to Colorado at the beginning of the month, and it hadn't snowed at this point yet, and we were going from Denver to the Rocky Mountains, which I think is technically the mountains. I think you go down to the mountains from Denver. It's kind of weird, but we decided to do that, and we went, and well, I mean, not just like on a whim. We were planning it, and it came. We went. We had to get. Had a little bit of some issues with our rental, and then we finally got on the road. It was really late at night, and it has not snowed yet, right? So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be nice. And I've heard like some weird things about driving in the mountains, like up there, that like you can't use your brakes a lot, or else they'll go out and you'll lose your brakes and you'll be dead. And well, maybe not dead, but you know how it goes. So we're driving, and I'm already like
Mostly dead.
Mostly dead. And it's very late at night. I'm very on edge. I'm usually fine driving like anywhere. Like I'm fine. Like I don't really mind. Like I love driving. I was really nervous, and then because I couldn't see anything, and it was just like we finally got to like a 7-mile decline of just like you see like runoffs for if you lose your brakes for like trucks, or like it says signs that say like keep going if you lose your brakes, and all these like weird things. Then all of a sudden, when we're going down this thing, it just starts to snow like crazy. And I'm like, we are going to die. And I'm like, I can't use my brakes. And then like there's ice, and we're sliding a little bit here and there. And I'm like, we're literally going to die. And it was like the scary, like I literally was like, dude, I've never prayed so much in my life. Like I literally at one point, like somebody tried to talk to me in the car, like, nope, stop. I need I just need to focus. And I was just like praying under my breath. Yeah. And at one point, this is really bad. And I shouldn't be admitting this, but at one point, because my wife is getting really frustrated because people are passing us, they're going a little bit faster. Now, granted, they're used to driving in these conditions. I am not.
Right.
And she's like, just go faster. It's fine. Look at them. I leaned over. This is terrible. Husbands don't do. I leaned over. I put my hand over her mouth, and I said, stop. I was just like, stop right now. Because she was getting mad. I was like, I need this. I need to just be quiet. Like,
did that help simmer things down?
It kind of made her more mad, but she was quiet.
I can see that.
Yeah. So, yeah, but then we got there, and it was a fun time, and we made it back. We had to leave a day early because of avalanche warnings and an even bigger snowstorm.
Wow.
So, yeah, but when we drove back, it was fine. Not a problem. There was no snow, and it was a good time. So
that's crazy. The same thing basically happened to me when I was in Colorado.
Did it really?
So I was there for my honeymoon, and we were at Pikes Peak, which is like you can drive basically all the way to the top. So we were at this parking lot, and it started like hailing, and then we were gonna like wait it out, and then it just got worse and worse for like the next hour, and then people were like leading a caravan down from the summit of the mountain because like everybody following behind this one snowplow.
Oh god.
So I'm kind of like dumbing it down, but this is a really good story. I like jump in line right behind the snowplow and follow it all the way down the mountain. But it was we were like praying. Like it was crazy.
Dude, those mountains, like they're wild.
Colorado is nuts.
Yeah, I think I might go back again if it was like in the winter and in the summer and not in December. Yeah, it was
just increase your life insurance policy a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Take off.
Yeah. So that was fun. I'm glad we finally talked about it, Peter.
It was worth the wait. It really was.
Good. I hope that was a good story. But
sometime you'll have to share with me what else you did besides almost dying. But
yes,
that's good for now. I'm
that's good for now. Good. Scratch that itch. Eventually, like over the next couple months or maybe a year or so, I'll slowly tell you everything we did.
The slow drip of
another
Colorado
thing we did
stories.
in Colorado. Oh, and I gotta go. I can't. So, well, this week, if you follow us on Instagram, we put up some polls because if you saw the name of this episode and you listen to the intro, you know it's about AI and Christian movies, specifically God's Not Dead. So I put up some polls just to prime you, the listener, for this episode to be prepared. I should have said one of our interns put it up. That would be better. So I put up some polls. I did. We'll just go through them real quick. It's just some results. We did God's Not Dead versus Left Behind. Peter, have you ever seen the Left Behind series?
One. I have.
Yeah. I don't think I finished. I think I saw the first two. I don't know if I ever finished.
I think there's 3, right?
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
So we did. I said which was more infamous. God's Not Dead won at 55%. And then Hacksaw Ridge. Is it a Christian movie? 65% said yes. 35 said no. I was surprised a lot of people said no. I think it is.
Really?
Yeah. Did you say
It's
no?
more, it's more of a war movie, but I would say it's like a Christian war movie, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Great movie. Then we did who is the king of Christian films? We had the guy from Pureflix, David R. White, Kirk Cameron from Kirk Cameron, Alex Kendrick, which is the guy that's in all like the Courageous and like Affirm film movies, Facing the Giant. Dude, it was actually really. So I was expecting David A.R. White.
I bet it was close.
Yeah, well, I was expecting David A.R. White to like to run away with it because he's like
I know
the
you're
most
a sucker
seen.
for some A.R. White.
Maybe I don't know. I think it's like a love-hate relationship, but I don't know if there's a whole lot of love. No,
okay.
But that'll be on another episode, the rise and fall of David A.R. White, and he did. That's not accurate. Anyway, no. So it was he got like I think it was I didn't do the numbers, but like he got. He was in last place, and then Kirk Cameron and Alex Kendrick tied, which I was very surprised about. Yeah, dude, and Alex Kendrick was like killing it most of the poll, which I was really surprised about. Then
That's
it was,
crazy.
Which makes the cringiest between Pureflix, Affirm, and Lionsgate. This Pureflix won by a landslide. But it was funny because then the next one we did was like who made like the most okayest movies. I wouldn't say they're great, but like which one makes the best ones out of
Middle
the
of
three?
the road.
Yeah. And it was like the lot of the same people that voted for Lionsgate as being the cringiest also made it they making the best. I don't know why. There was a lot of double voting there. So they make the best and the worst apparently. But Lionsgate did win the best films by an even bigger margin.
I would say so.
Yes, yeah, I think they're good because they're not just a Christian film company. I think they make other films as well.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
like I thought that they were even involved in like the Hunger Games movies.
Probably, to be honest. I know they make John Wick.
I might be totally wrong. Do they make John Wick?
yeah. They're all over the place. Passion of the Christ versus Risen. Who did it better? Obviously, Passion won, 86%. Let's go. Thank you, Mel Gibson. And then we did the best Christian movies out there. Nacho Libre. That was one that went in.
Wow.
I said I don't think
open for submissions, right?
Yeah, I said I don't think. I mean, he's a priest, but I don't think that counts. And then I said, is Nacho Libre a Christian movie? This got to be a joke. 58% of people said yes. I mean, kinda. Then it was somebody said Risen, and then Book of Eli, which I've never seen. Have you ever seen it?
I have seen that. That's definitely not a Christian movie.
Yeah, it apparently though by 71% they said yes. So
who is voting?
Dude, I have no idea. But
hey, if you don't follow us on Instagram yet, please follow so that you can kind of even things out here.
Yes, please.
The crazies and the not crazies.
Yes, and it's a fun time. We have a good time. But we did all that because we wanted to really prime, like I said, everybody for what we're here for. And that is to talk about God's Not Dead 5, written by the Weekly Peel AI. It's not our AI.
Yes. John has been absurdly excited for this.
Yeah.
This has been in our like Peel document for like months now, and we were like, how on earth are we gonna make this happen? We had no idea. And finally we looked it up, and months later it's happening for real.
I know. I'm really excited. So what we decided to do is we put all of the synopsis for all the God's Not Dead movies into an AI, which is should we say what it is?
It's an artificial intelligence.
No, not AI. I mean the company we're using.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. It's InfraKit. They have a demo because we're cheap, and gives us 10,000 characters, which is good enough for us. And we put, like I said, we put in all the synopsis of all the God's Not Dead movies. But before we get into it, we're going to give it a little bit of something to go off of as far as this fifth God's Not, which actually, funny story. Technically speaking, Pureflix did talk to us about helping produce God's Not Dead 5. It is true.
Tell them what happened.
Over Instagram, we made if you follow us on Instagram, we made a reel of us dancing to God's Not Dead, and with the caption like, "Hey, collab on God's Not Dead 5," and then we tagged them, and then they responded to us, and they were like, "Oh, are you guys, producers or actors?" And we have some films that we've done both, so we're both. and they were like, oh, "Okay, you can like submit some things here and this," and so I mean, they did technically talk to us.
You had a conversation with them, John.
I did.
You were in talks with
them. Yes. So we were in talks. So this is our official pitch. If you're listening, Pureflix.
Amazing. That made me so happy when that happened.
Oh, so good. So we have to come up with a title, Peter. So I have come up with a few. If you have any, I don't know if you do. Feel free to put them out there and we can discuss. But here's what I have. So get ready to pick, Peter. All right, you ready? God's Not Dead. War on.
What? You can't even get it.
It's not even that funny. War on Glory. All right, dude, it's not that funny. All right, God's Not Dead Through Homeschool and High Waters. God's Not Dead, America Strikes Back. God's Not Dead, Take No Prisoners. God's Not Dead Forever. God's Not Dead, Revenge of the Atheists. God's Not Dead, Civil War. God's Not Dead, Never Say Newsboys.
Civil War, I love that. Wait, what was the last one?
Never Say Newsboys.
Oh, I like that.
So,
I liked, what was it, Revenge of the Atheists?
Revenge of the Atheists? Is that what we're going with?
That's probably my favorite.
All right, let's put that into...
Or War on Glory.
Wait, which one?
I like Revenge of the Atheists.
Okay.
Here we go. John is sharing his screen.
Yes. All right, so...
This. If you're on YouTube, you can watch along with us, but if not, we're going to read it out what the AI has to say for you.
Revenge of the Whoa, I spelled that wrong. Atheists. Oops. My spelling.
God's Not Dead. Yes.
All right, so... Peter, we need some... Okay, so should we do a little quick recap of all the movies?
Is there any actual, like... Are they completely separated movies, or are they tied together with characters?
Do you want to know the only thing that ties them together?
Is it David A.R. White?
David A.R. White? That's literally the only thing that ties them together.
Is he in the first one?
Yeah, barely. And then all of a sudden, the whole series becomes about him.
He leads the professor to the Lord, right at the end or something, right?
At the end of the movie, yeah. In the first movie, it's like a professor versus a kid, because he's like, hey, if you're in my class, you have to write, God is dead, or else you fail. And the kid's like, I'm not doing that. And he's like, oh, really? Let's debate. So they do. And then there's a whole lot of other like subplots and stuff. But then like basically, like the Robinsons from the Robertsons from Duck Dynasty are in there.
They're in there?
Eventually, yeah. Well, one of it, Willie, is. And then the professor ends up like getting hit by a car. Pastor Dave, which is David A.R. White, comes and he leads him to the Lord. And then the kid who won the debate against his professor that is now dead, this is really crazy. He goes to a concert for the Newsboys, and all of a sudden Willie Robertson comes up on the screen, and he's like, "Hey, kid from that class that defended God, I just want to say thank you. Now let's have a fun time at this Newsboys concert, and let's text everyone God's not dead." And then they literally dedicate it to Josh. That's the kid's name, and they sing God's Not Dead. And then in the next one, it's about like a girl and a teacher. I think the teacher says like, hey, I love Jesus. You should too. And they're like, hey, that's really wrong. You can't do that. Separation of church and state. Oh, really? I'm taking this to the Supreme Court. And they do. And then basically there's one line in here. I think it's the Supreme Court. It's something really high. I only saw parts of this one. The prosecutor declares that the lawsuit will prove once and for all that God is dead.
Oh my gosh.
So
this is honestly the most like made by homeschoolers TV series that I've ever seen.
Dude, I know. So then
made
basically
by and for homeschoolers.
Yes. And Pastor Dave of course is in it. The Newsboys are in it and they sing and they have lines. And then she wins, and then in a post-credit scene, a fully recovered. Oh, wait, what happened to Pastor Dave? I don't remember. I guess he went to the hospital. I don't know. Something happens. Let's just say he gets shot. I don't know if that's what happened.
It says he goes to jail.
Wait, yeah, no, that's that. Okay, so it says a fully recovered David is arrested by the police for failing to turn in his sermons to the government, which was shown earlier in the film. And then so he's like, basically it sets up the next movie, which he's released from prison, and then I didn't see this one, so let's see what happens.
So he's becoming more and more of a character in every movie.
Oh yeah,
and
which
so
actually
like about
it's
him.
all about him. Yeah, so actually, if that happens on pretty much every Pureflix series that doesn't start with him, it ends with him. like we have a friend that wrote like for Pureflix and stuff, and he made a movie, The Encounter. And the first one, David A.R. White isn't even in it, which is weird. But then the second one, David A.R. White's like pretty much like an action hero. It's like that completely changes into something it's not, and he's like. And it's like he takes a bunch of people hostage, and then he becomes a Christian, and then like I think they might have made a third one, and he's like the main guy instead of Jesus. It just happens like that.
It's at the point now where if I don't see David A.R. White in a movie, I'm concerned. Like, what's
is this even Christian?
What's
like what?
What's happening?
I'm trying to see. I'm like trying to quickly read through this, but I don't see an actual plot.
That's okay.
Apparently, Dave assaults somebody.
Oh my gosh.
Dave. There's something helping in church.
I like that his name is David in these movies.
I know. It's so good. And then
I think
they're gonna tear down the. Oh.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Maybe the sequel should be David A.R. White's Not Dead.
My David A.R. White's not dead. He's surely alive. He's making Pureflix. Okay. So then let's see. Basically a bunch of stuff happens, and there's the newsboys tell everyone at the end of the movie to text hashtag God's not dead. Then this is the big one, and the newest one that just came out. Oh, actually, is his name mentioned at all? I don't think it is. Maybe we're wrong here. Maybe newest movie.
He is the local pastor.
Oh, because this is a group of parents led by a local pastor are homeschooling their children when a representative from social services makes an unannounced visit and determines the parents' teaching is not sufficient. So basically, they because of Common Core. That's why. I knew it. It literally says that. It literally says is not sufficient in light of the requirements of the Common Core state standards.
That's crazy.
So then basically, they have a week to prove that their education is good enough, or else they're gonna have to go to public school. And then
Janine Pirro plays the judge. I love this so much. This could not be better.
And then let's see. Much of the last half of the film consists mainly of long speeches by parents, pastor, and member of Congress over the topic of homeschooling. In the end, let's finish this. I have no idea how it ends. In the end, they all homeschool freely.
And David gets a fist bump from Donald Trump.
And David
that's how it ends.
A fist bump from Donald Trump. There you go.
I'm just blown away by your typing speed.
Dude, it's really. I have like a mic in front of my arm,
true,
and it's
true.
All right. So now, wait. Is there a post credits? Oh, dude, what about this? This is what we're feeding the AI to generate stuff. In a post credit scene, let's see who should. It's something to do because the next one's Revenge of the Atheist, so it has to be. Should it be the guy from the first movie? No, because he became a Christian. I was gonna say he comes back. He comes back
as an atheist again.
All right, so what should it be? Post credit scenes that the national this is why I want you to type. Atheist Society of America. What do they do?
Lots to conquer the homeschooled Christians.
Conquer the homeschool Christians
for good.
And God himself. And God
himself.
God himself. Okay. All right. God's Not Dead, Revenge of the Atheists. Should we just generate or anything else we got to add?
You could say like Revenge of the Atheist begins with, and then hit generate after that.
Begins with, hit generate. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Begins with, here we go.
Oh boy, oh boy.
The funeral of the late David Fitzgerald, and ends with him being revived. Revived with the help of an iris scanner on his wrist after his newly found atheist wife agrees to go back to church, and a 10-year
I didn't know you could be revived with an iris scanner.
and a 10-year-old Christian tries helping him. God's Not Dead, Revenge of the Atheist is a parody of God's Not... No, we're taking that out. Wait, let's see what it says. Is a parody of God's Not Dead and has been compared to Shaun of the Dead, Fast and Furious 6, and Brooklyn. All right, we're taking that out. Because this is not... Sorry, AI. This is real. This is real deal.
Should write the next line of like what happens in the movie.
So Pastor Dave dies. And
really?
Well, that's what it says. The late David we're going to say that's Pastor Dave, right?
But then he gets revived.
Oh, yeah. So the late Pastor Dave, it begins with his funeral and ends. Wait, the movie ends with him being revived?
Oh, wow. So that's God's Not Dead 6.
Or the funeral, or the 6. Or the funeral ends with him being revived. Let's say the funeral ends with him being revived with the help of an iris scanner on his wrist after his newly found atheist wife agrees to go back to church, and a 10-year-old Christian trying to help him.
This is ridiculous.
All right, so then you wanted to add something,
or we could just go straight into the next movie.
Oh, are we doing that?
I don't know. Why not?
All right. Okay, we're
in control here.
We are.
What was the other one?
Dead.
Glory?
Yeah, War on Glory opens with...
Maybe don't say opens with, because then it's going to try to close it right away like it did in the last one.
Okay. God's Not Dead, War on Glory is about... No, what would it be?
Yeah, you could do that.
Is about... And let's see. Is about... The persecutions of Christians in the Middle East. Oh, it is also about the war, the war for the soul of America. The movie, like its predecessor, is critically acclaimed by the media. That's not true. But according to its producers, it was supposed to be a satire. Why is it always doing that? Rather than a faithful retelling of historic events, the media reviews are mostly positive. Then the AI said, God's Not Dead, The Paper Chase is an online continuation, of the
You could increase the length on the left side there if you wanted to generate more.
What?
On the left side of the screen.
Oh. All right, let's do it. Let's do 400 characters. 420. No, 430.
Nice.
Continuation of the series by popular demand. Using the open web software, which can be installed on any web server running Linux or Unix. What? The purpose of the online continuation is to allow fans to interact with the series and to feature unreleased footage from the series that was not included in the theatrical release of the final film. A live-action adaptation of God's Not Dead, The Paper Chase is also in development.
The Paper Chase? What on earth? How did it go that direction? I'm so confused.
Ready for this? In the Paper Chase, Pastor Dave. Do you have anything else to add, or should we just let it do its thing?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
I'm so confused what it's like. It's adding all these little phrases that are weird. Okay, so it goes to David's father. In April 2017, Doug Phillips, David Fitzgerald's father, and Bob Coles, Paul Fitzgerald's father. Just so many long names here. Announced a reunion of the four members along with Andy Oldham, Ronald Fitzgerald's father. who served as the director of the church in the original film. Wow, it's going back now. This is incredible. In June 2017, the group announced that they were writing a book and asked the other four.
Let's see. Let's ask the other four to continue chapters. Keep going, Peter.
Contribute chapters. The book was published on December 2017 under the name God's Not Dead Between Heaven and Earth. They stated that the title referred to the fact that while the film concluded with Roland Fitzgerald having died, the book was not the final chapter and will continue to write after the events of the film and will delve more deeply into the characters' lives. This is like, this seems very real, what it's telling us. Like the backstory on the movie being made.
It is very weird.
And it's always like oddly like specific, you know, like all these full names and stuff.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. This seems a little bit weird, a little bit real. It's kind of.
So we gotta finish out the story.
Yes.
This is God's Not Dead: The Paper Chase. So is this episode 6?
No.
Or whatever,
This is now.
the prequel?
No, this is now. God's Not Dead Between Heaven and Earth. Remember?
Oh.
This is a book that was written. So let's do this because we'll say God's Not Dead Between Heaven and Earth. The movie opens with Pastor Dave
mounting a horse.
Mounting a horse. Okay. All right, let's see. This is the end. This is the end of our God's Not Dead series. Mounting a horse and pulling a small horse cart out of... Oh, you can read it, actually. Out of town.
Okay. Pulling a small horse cart out of town. In the Bible, those who are pushed beyond their limits will struggle to return. It's like... This is about the Bible now. This quote is portrayed as he uses his faith to push beyond the impossible. God is love. It is when someone doubts their ability to love that they will face hardship in life. The piers of a strong heart are cracked. In the book, a chapter is written from the point of view of Roland Fitzgerald.
The book.
This is so off the walls.
The book, which is now a movie, ends with... Let's see.
Drum roll. Do you want to read it?
You can, Peter.
The quote of it ends with the quote of David Fitzgerald from the film God's Not Dead. I am right. God's Not Dead. I am right. God's Not Dead received generally positive reviews from film critics, with many of them praising the acting and the entertainment values of the film. The review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes reports that 87% of critics gave the film a positive review, with an average of 7 out of 10.
Wow.
That is
so
amazing.
Basically, Pureflix, please, this is directly to you. Please reach out to us because we got some wonderful. We can turn these into scripts, you know. We got Roland Fitzgerald. We got his dad, his brother, his sister. God is love. God's Not Dead Between Here and Heaven and Earth. God's Not Dead. Was it Paper Chase? God's Not Dead. War on Glory. We got it all right here.
Last but not least, God is dead. I was
God's not dead.
Sorry.
God's
saying
dead.
That.
Oh my gosh, Peter. God's not dead. I am
that.
right. That is the perfect ending if you think about it. Like just the final proof, you know. So
they had the final word.
They do. Man, this was not as clear as I thought it was gonna be, but it was still very fun, and I hope you all very much enjoyed this episode where we really just showed Pureflix how to do it. You got anything else to say, Peter, before we let these peelers go?
Well, we have coming up
on...
Should we give away the date yet?
Yes.
February 4th.
Ooh.
We are going to have our first live show.
Yes.
So live on...
Instagram, YouTube.
We really hadn't thought about this, apparently.
Maybe both.
Our first live show will be joined by the one and only John Chevrolet.
Yes, which we'll have a big announcement about, which will be on the live show.
We have some very exciting stuff coming down the line. And we're going to use AI another way coming up very soon. Am I giving away too much, John?
I actually don't know what you're talking about.
I love that. We are going to use AI to write us a movie script for us, and then we are going to make it.
Yes.
But not just any movie script. A Coen Brothers cinematic universe.
Yes, which we are going to also do an episode about the films that we made, talking about them, breaking them down, because they're funny, and I think that you all would enjoy it. And yes, I forgot. I think that was that my idea? And I think or was it your idea?
I think you did.
Yeah.
It was a
Well,
great
I'm glad
idea.
you remembered because I forgot. So yes. All right, Peter, you ready to say some thank yous? This is using AI. Thank you. It took a second. Thank you, Toru Hani. I watched one of those Donald Trump campaign rallies while he was doing those classic reality TV things where he turned around and looks at the crowd, and all the candidates are looking at him, and all the big wigs are looking at him, and the middle-aged white women are looking at him, and the same chants are going around like "Lock her up, USA, USA." Then the camera just cuts, and it's you and me. It's just you and just you.
This week, Peter wants to thank the folks at the Northampton Symphony Orchestra. We recorded the interview last year during their inaugural season.
John wants to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. He would like to pass along a tip if you have an overflowing mailbox, if you go out and do a little.
And lastly, our AI outro. Thank you so much for watching today. Thank you for listening to our show. We had a great time, and if you like what we do, let us know. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors, and we'll try to do a better show next time.
And we'll see you next week.